Leonardo DiCaprio, a name that echoes, an actor whose career has captivated audiences for decades. But despite being the heart of Titanic, a genius in Inception, and the king of The Wolf of Wall Street, one thing was a greater mystery than any of his films for decades. The question that obsessed Hollywood forums and dinner table discussions: why won't they give him an Oscar? And then, in 2016, it finally happened. For his role in The Revenant, Leonardo DiCaprio took the golden statue. The internet exploded and we thought the story was over. But was it really? Many of you commented that it was the wrong film for the award, that the Oscar was just a consolation prize for all the years before, for all those roles that shone but went unnoticed. Did he really deserve only one Oscar? Or did the Academy only then, finally, see what it had been missing all along? In this video, we'll forget the usual stories and dive into the core of the problem. We will analyze all his roles, the brutal competition, and the strange Hollywood system to reveal the real boom reasons why he had to wait so long. Let's talk about Shutter Island. I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely obsessed with this movie. Yes, Scorsese is a genius. Yes, the story is incredible. But what still haunts me is Leo's acting. And I'm not alone. Many of you in the comments agreed that this is one of his best performances. Did you forget that emotional depth? Did you forget that crazy intensity without being over the top? And then the cold shower hits. The movie was released in theaters just 3 weeks before the Oscars. Sounds like a bad joke, right? Too late for the 2010 ceremony and too early to stay fresh in the minds of voters for 2011. A simple technical error, and one of the best roles of his career vanished without a trace. But even without that catastrophic decision, would he have won? That's a tough question. 2011 was brutal. Remember, he was up against Colin Firth, who was brilliant in The King's Speech. And even if it wasn't for him, there were Harvey Bardem, Jesse Eisenberg, and that weird James Franco for 127 hours whatever. The question isn't whether he would have won, but whether he was even worthy of a nomination. We say yes. We say yes. And that's the key. This is where the pattern starts. Incredible acting. But due to circumstances, something is always missing. Either the timing or the competition, or something else. And here, for the first time, that something was pure, unadulterated bad luck. And then we get to 2006, arguably the best year in Leo's acting career, but at the same time, a year in which he was destined for defeat. He launched a double-barreled attack on the Oscars. First in The Departed, his third collaboration with Scorsese, where he plays an undercover cop who descends into madness. Many of you commented that this was his best role, but that's not all. In the same year, he also stars in Blood Diamond, another fantastic Oscar-worthy film. 2 masterful roles in just 1 year. His chances were incredible. But as we already know, this is Leo and the Oscars. And 2007 was simply brutal. Leo was up against unstoppable forces. Forrest Whitaker won the Oscar for The Last King of Scotland. Not Will Smith, as some thought, even though he was a favorite. Many felt Leo should have been nominated for The Departed, but he received the nomination for Blood Diamond instead. Forrest's performance was so powerful that it's considered one of the best in history. This begs the question, does Leo have those capabilities? Can he reach that level? And then, 2 years earlier, in 2004, another role that should have been awarded, Howard Hughes in The Aviator. Many considered this to be his best performance to date, and we completely agree. The role demanded total commitment, carrying the entire film on his back, portraying madness and obsessive-compulsive disorder in a way no one expected. This was the moment he stopped being just a pretty face from Titanic and became a serious actor, a big dog in Hollywood. But again, damn fate. The film, of course, was a hit, winning 11 nominations, including Best Picture. But for Best Actor, it all came down to one man, Jamie Foxx. Foxx played Ray Charles in the film Ray, and it was one of those once-in-a-generation roles. Sometimes you just can't fight destiny. Although Leo was fantastic, Jamie Foxx was simply unbeatable that year. And that brings us to the conclusion that at this point, our tally is 2-1. Jamie Foxx deservedly won his Oscar, but we believe Leo should have had one for The Aviator. But that's not the end. The question remains, what about all those roles before The Aviator? Let's go back in time, before Leo became a Hollywood big dog. From 1993 to 2002, he was a heartthrob. But even then, He was showing raw, unadulterated talent. First, what's eating Gilbert Grape? He was only 19 when he got the nomination. His role as Arnie, a person with a mental disability, was so powerful that many of you even today are shocked that he didn't win. The comments confirm Ralph Fiennes was great, but Leo was magnificent. Then Titanic happened, one of the biggest movies of all time. The Oscars loved it, but Leo didn't even get a nomination. Unbelievable, right? The Academy apparently still thought he was just a pretty face, not a serious actor. But have you seen that scene from the Basketball Diaries where he's begging his mom for money? That's raw, devastating emotion. Catch Me If You Can and Gangs of New York were also great roles. But let's be honest, it wasn't his time yet. He was young, and the competition was brutal. Sometimes, good acting just isn't enough. The question remains, was his pretty boy image in that early period his biggest obstacle on the road to an Oscar? And finally, we get to the Leo that today's generation knows and loves. Jordan Belfort, Calvin Candy, Jay Gatsby, Rick Dalton, Ernest Burkhart. But something interesting happens here. Instead of chasing an Oscar, it's as if he consciously decided to choose roles he was passionate about. He started experimenting. For the first time, we saw him in comedic roles, like in The Wolf of Wall Street and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And with the role of Calvin Candy in Django Unchained, he showed he could be one of the most chilling villains of this century. And then, The Revenant, the movie he won his Oscar for. Many believe it was a sympathy Oscar, a lifetime achievement award, rather than one for a specific role. He ate raw liver and fought a bear, all in an attempt to prove he's an actor willing to do anything. But was it a genuine risk, or just an empty gesture? Looking at 2014, when he competed with Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club and Chiwetel Ejiofor in 12 Years a Slave, we see that was a year where risks and transformations were truly rewarded. Leo couldn't compete there. And remember 2019, Joaquin Phoenix, taking a huge risk with the role of the Joker, created a cultural phenomenon. And Leo? He's great in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he didn't take that extra step. And then we have one more chance, a chance for Leo's ultimate redemption. And it's with a director known for bringing out the absolute best in every actor, Paul Thomas Anderson. We all know Adam Sandler. He was the funny guy from cheap comedies. But under PTA, in Punch Drunk Love, he delivered his best, most serious role of his career. Then we have Joaquin Phoenix, who was brilliant in The Master, not to mention the legendary performance of Philip Seymour Hoffman. And finally, according to many, the best acting performance of all time, Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. Who directed that film? Paul Thomas Anderson. And now, we have announcements that Leo and PTA are collaborating on a new film, one battle after another. Is this the moment of truth? Will PA draw out of Leo that something that has always been missing? Will he make him take risks, be weird, and shock us? Maybe this is the only way for him to prove he's an actor, truly willing to do anything, and to win an Oscar that is not a Lifetime Achievement Award, but a prize for a performance that will be remembered. And so we come to the end of the story. We've looked at all his nominations, all the incredible roles, all the missed opportunities, and all the tough competition. And we come to one main conclusion. Leonardo DiCaprio truly deserved more than one Oscar, but, and this is a big but, he didn't lose to a rival. He didn't lose because of the Hollywood system or bad luck. He was always one step away from victory. He was always great, but never the one who took the biggest risk. He beat himself, his own comfort zone. He is so good that he lost to himself. He beat the competition, but the Academy still ignored him. And yes, he won a consolation Oscar for The Revenant, but the real truth is that he deserved the award much earlier. For Arnie, for Howard Hughes, for Jordan Belfort. So, does he deserve more than one Oscar? Absolutely. Will he ever get one? Maybe, if he commits to a total transformation and a risk under the direction of a filmmaker like Paul Thomas Anderson. Until then, all we can do is watch his amazing films and wonder, what if?